Hope y'all had a great Easter weekend. There's a lot of things going on. We had night 2 of WrestleMania. And yeah, night 2 was something to behold. Oh, social media was doing their thing. I got to listen to Busted Open and they did their thing, and this makes for a great episode tonight. Cause that guy over there, my co-host, Mr. Cool McCain there, he's fuming at the mouth. So welcome to Monarchs of Wrestling. Your normal day on a Monday. Before the Raw after WrestleMania. And there's a lot to get off your chest today. So, Mr. Cool McCain, pick a starting point, and I'll come in whenever I need to.
Sure. So I just want to take like 3-4 minutes, just do a rundown of TNA Unbreakable. I'm not going to really get into it, but it was a sort of event. So I at least want to give them the appreciation of going over the show real quick. And then, of course, we will dig into WrestleMania. We're going to start with the first match on night 2 when we get into that. But real quick, Unbreakable, April 17th. It was in Vegas as well. I guess trying to maybe grab some of that early audience for WWE for the weekend. So International Championship Tournament, Eric Young beat Johnny Dango Curtis and Zachary Wentz in one match. Another International Championship Tournament match, Steve Macklin defeated Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin. That helped set up the finals. We'll get to that in a moment. Moose defeated Sidney Akeem, the former Reginald and Scripps from WWE, in the open challenge for the X Division Championship. Well, it was for a future shot, but it won't happen now. Matt, Jeff Hardy, and Mike Santana defeated the Nemeth brothers and Mustafa Ali. No one's surprised about that. Joe Hendry and Masha Slamovich defeated Frankie Kazarian and Tessa Blanchard. That's not the last time we'll mention Joe Henry tonight.
I wonder how he looked in that match.
Barbed Wire Massacre match. We had Sami Callihan versus Mance Warner. Of course, Sami Callihan won because of Barbed Wire Massacre, stuff like that. The type of sick, twisted stuff. That's the Sami Callihan advantage. He's a very sick individual as a wrestler. The main match from Unbreakable was the International Championship final. It was a 3-way match between Steve Macklin, AJ Francis, and Eric Young. So Steve Macklin is your first TNA International Champion. Quite an upgrade from the previous championship, which I'm not even going to give a name to anymore. I'm just going to say the previous championship. But now we have the TNA International Championship. Nice looking belt. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. But just wanted to give Unbreakable a few minutes of our time there. And now it's time to get to it. This, of course, will be your third in a row commercial-free episode of Monarchs of Wrestling because there's a lot to get to. And we get into it. So, number 1, we started off night 2 with what I believe was the match of the pay-per-view. Definitely the match of night 2, or the PLE of WrestleMania as a whole, night 1 and 2. Definitely the match of night 1. We had Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. I'm going to say 95% of America picked either Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley to win this match, and we were all wrong. Io Sky won this match. So, I'm going to give you my opinion. It's definitely different from my co-host, but I'm going to give you my opinion on this match. So, for me, I think we will agree that it was a great match. Some of us don't like the ending, and that's fine. There's a lot of endings I don't like, so I get it. For me, it's interesting that she was kind of placed into it, and then she ended up being the winner. It's a good swerve in that, okay, Io won. We all thought Io was just inserted. My problem with this match is Bianca, undefeated at WrestleMania, had to take the pin. Rhea Ripley just got through getting Bianca's finisher. And you mean to tell me that Bianca can't be kicked out of the ring and then repinned? And you say, oh, cool, it doesn't really matter who loses. Io won. It does matter. because Bianca, the EST of WrestleMania, you can't spell WrestleMania without EST, not only didn't win the title, but she was the one that lost the match. That's my issue. There's nothing that anyone can say to change how I feel about it. I do like the match overall. I do think it was a greatly fought match. I just don't like who was pinned. I don't mind Bianca not winning because you're trying to tell a story of Io Sky and blah, 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 whatever. But Bianca taking the pin, to me, that's trash juice. Just to end a streak like that of undefeated at WrestleMania. It's trash juice. But make I know you have some thoughts. Please give the people
Nope.
what
Nope. Nope.
No?
No.
No? Well, sir?
No. Because nope. It's not Io Sky's fault, but it's gonna be a Triple H fault.
Absolutely. It's not Io Sky's fault. Absolutely.
That's why I don't want to say what I want to say. Because
so we're gonna jump around here, guys. Because
matter of fact, we're gonna jump around because I need to get to it.
Get to it.
So if I was to look up Joe Hendry and injury, right? You know what would pop up? It would say serious rotative cup. Now you just heard he fought at Unbreakable and he got the tag team win, right? Why is he the one that had to face Randy Orton?
Right.
This is kind of wrong on multiple levels. Number one, that's your TNA World Champion. Number two, y'all questioning if he gonna make it to Rebellion because of a rotator cuff injury. And Rebellion is coming up. Rebellion didn't happen yet. Rebellion is coming up. What are we doing? What are we doing? You have a list for the rosters, people on the roster, and you pick somebody from TNA. You know the crazy part is I should have known when I said TNA didn't invade, stand and deliver. I should have known when I said that. That opened the door for TNA at WrestleMania. But your world champion is the surprise opponent for a Randy Orton. And got squashed, by the way. Now we're supposed to act like we didn't see him get squashed by Randy Orton in TNA. Then he goes to Rebellion with a World Title Cup injury and somehow still has the title after Rebellion. Because in Cool McCain's words and Cole Johnson's words, there's nobody else big enough to carry TNA at the moment.
Congratulations, TNA. You just let WWE rape you. They took your champion and they made him look like a Mitch, no M. You know what I'm saying. And the thing is, it wasn't even necessary for it to be him. It could have been PCO with somebody. Didn't have to be the world champ. But you have him come on and get straight dog walk, beat down, squashed. So how do you expect any WWE fan to take TNA serious when their champion just got squashed by Randy Orton? And Paul, he didn't even get a last name this week, Paul, gonna have a nerve in his press conference to talk about, I think Joe did a great job and he'll be in many more WrestleManias. Really? So you want to squash him some more? Really? TNA, y'all are some suckers. To let them take your champ and do that, as an organization, y'all are soft suckers at the top.
And that was not one of the best RKOs, okay? He's not going to talk what he did to Evan Bourne. He's not going to talk what he did to Seth Rollins. Or RVD in that Money in the Bank ladder match.
and the man got a shoulder rotator cuff injury, and y'all still got him parading out there to get beat up by Randy Orton. TNA, soft. It's not even. I'm not even putting that on Paul, because somebody had to okay that on the TNA side. Y'all are the suckers in this. Y'all are the problem. That's all I got to say about that.
Joe Hendry, good gracious.
They did you wrong, Joe. They don't believe in you in WWE.
I believe Joe Hendry caught an RKO though.
I believe that too.
He caught 2 of them. He caught one after the match.
That's not how you let somebody do your champion. That's just.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Oh, that was funny right there. Like, really. I was like, are you kidding me? See, they probably would have fooled me if I didn't happen to catch TNA. But seeing that I can actually watch TNA on Thursdays, I knew the situation. That man is injured. And you got a pay-per-view of yourself coming up. If he wasn't injured or a pay-per-view coming up, I wouldn't have said I'll be all right with it. That man is injured, and you got a pay-per-view coming up, and you threw him to, out of all the people in the world of professional wrestling, to Randy Keith Orton. On a day that he wasn't even scheduled to have a match anyway. Wow. That was just, yeah. That was, yeah. Oh. Since we going on this reign of crazy returns, well. So a lot of y'all like to complain about Charlotte, right? Well, co-host, go ahead, tell them who returned this and end up winning the title all of a sudden.
So, Miss Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, as anticipated by me and Playmaker. If you saw the show yesterday, you know. If not, go back and watch it. Came back, and of course, she was the difference maker. Of course, her and Lyra Valkyria are now women's tag team champions, and Lyra is Lyra 2 belts. Don't forget the connections. That's what's important. People forget the connections sometimes. What do you mean, cool connections? What are you talking about?
Irish.
The Irish connection. Think about who has been loving on Lyra, kind of behind the scenes and all that, and always been in Lyra's corner. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying you got to think about these things. Pay attention to these things. Got to. So, there's not a lot that needs to be said about this match. It wasn't anywhere near a great match. It was, to me, a very predictable match. But it was still better than a lot of other matches from night 1 and night 2. I'm going to just leave that there.
So, Charlotte comes back, we mad. Becky comes back, we're happy. Charlotte lost, Becky won. Y'all some hypocrites. Not him.
They're not. How many title reigns does Becky have? Like 3 or 4. How many title reigns does Charlotte have? 1,000 gazillion. So they're not hypocrites. I'm gonna take up for them this time. They're not hypocrites. They're tired of one person being forced down their throat and always winning championships. Didn't win this time.
But you can come back and you can squash Bianca Belair at SummerSlam with no problem. Come on now.
What is your problem?
If y'all complaining about Charlotte having title reigns or being the title picture, Becky does the same thing.
How many title reigns does Becky have?
It don't matter. I mean, it's the same.
It does matter because that's why she first think of Charlotte. They're sick of her because she comes back and 9 times out of 10 she wins. She has 13 championships. That's why people are tired of Charlotte. Becky doesn't have 13 championships.
Becky has every title. Becky has every title in the company.
Match at WrestleMania for the women's.
Becky has won every title in the company. Charlotte has not won every title. Charlotte's not a Grand Slam champion. Becky
Okay,
is.
how many women's championships are there? There's the NXT championship. There's the tag team championships. They just got the North American championship. They just got the United States Intercontinental Championship. So to be a Grand Slam champion, all you had to do was win the women's championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, the NXT championship, and the tag team championships.
Becky has done that.
Charlotte is not going to win the tag team championships because nobody likes her. You got to have a partner. So that's the only reason why she's not a Grand Slam champion.
But
you got to have a tag team partner. Nobody wants Charlotte as a tag team partner because Charlotte is.
I'm not standing for that. And soon enough, give it about 2 months, and Becky will be going for the title.
It didn't take Charlotte 2 months to be going for a title. It took her one night. One night. Walk back, got a title shot for the women's World Heavyweight Champion. That's why people don't like Charlotte.
They don't have to like Charlotte, but hey, get the same energy to Becky.
I'm just saying, Becky's not the same. Let's not try to don't do that to Becky.
No, them two are always connected. So they are going to be always connected.
Not when it comes to the hate, they're not. Not when it comes to one being fed.
Oh, because they never going to hate Becky Lynch.
Not one because she's not fed championship matches for women's championships like Charlotte. That's why. That is why.
So now she get to go to NXT and squash another tag team.
It's NXT. They shouldn't even have the same tag team titles. Do you have them? Can the men's WWE World Heavyweight Champion go to NXT?
Hey,
can the men's tag team champions go to NXT and fight?
Hey,
no,
they chose to have one.
Fault.
They chose to have one belt.
Fault. That's Paul's fault.
To have one. So like, you're gonna put NXT. Yeah, let NXT have.
So the NXT people should get dog walked. Ain't none of them. Ain't no tag team. NXT should be good enough to beat main roster women for the tag team belts, or they should be on the main roster. That's NXT and WWE's fault for not keeping those championships separate.
Hey,
they should be separate.
And you made my point.
But
you're gonna have only one.
You can't blame the wrestler for that. You're trying to blame Becky for that. You can't blame her for that.
Well, that's what's gonna happen.
That's not. She's not gonna get.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
She's not.
You think they're gonna go NXT and lose them belts?
No, they're gonna win. But I'm saying that's not her fault. It's not her fault that they have NXT teams of developing women going up against main roster tag teams. That is WWE's fault because they decided to merge the belts when they should not have. They didn't merge the men's tag team championships, did they? No, because they're not crazy.
They never merged the belts. Actually, they've been like that since they made them.
That's what I'm saying. Because NXT at one time they had their own women's championship tag team champions. They decided to merge those with the WWE main roster tag team championships. So it's always going to be a main roster team that has those belts. It's always going to be.
No, they need to spread that around.
Right, by getting a new set of NXT women's tag team championships. Because no other belt was merged with a main roster belt, was it?
No.
Exactly. That's a Paul WWE problem, not a Becky Lynch problem. I'm not gonna let you do Becky like that. And I'm not even a Becky fan, but I can't let you try to put
you as a Becky fan. You don't choose Becky over Charlotte. Come on.
I cannot let you put her in there with Charlotte. I can't do that. I cannot.
I don't have to. She gonna always be in there with Charlotte, regardless. All you have to do.
As far as people might compare them in certain things, but they're not gonna say, "Oh, yeah, Becky's got too many championships." And she comes back and gets world championship matches.
You gotta remember. You gotta remember the IWC does everything.
All right, I reject those deposits.
You reject them deposits all you want because you see them. You know you see them.
I reject them. I
ain't say you.
All those people. Let me
address the IWC. I said you seen them.
IWC. Y'all are butthurt because of what John Cena did. That's y'all's problem. Y'all are butthurt at what Paul and John Cena did. Y'all are butthurt about that. Don't take it on Becky and nobody else. I'm even defend Charlotte. Don't even take it on Charlotte because that's not Charlotte hate. That is you being butthurt because of what they told you was going to happen.
And that's the real course of the. That's why I wanted to get to. Before I get there, I thought there was a certain wrestler who wasn't not allowed to talk, but when it came to WrestleMania, he became a face all of a sudden. I wonder who that was.
Got to give you props. Got to give you props because you picked that one. I did not.
I picked him to win, but I ain't know he was gonna be cheered.
No, nobody could have known that. No one. Like the people that was cheering couldn't even know that they was gonna do that beforehand.
Dirty Don won it. And speaking of which, like you just got on Paul for doing Bianca wrong. How you feel about how they did Finn Balor?
Man, I'm not even gonna talk about Finn Balor. How did they do Braun Breaker? Like seriously, you lost your belt to Dirty Dom.
I'm just saying, you was mad about the finish, how it finished for the women's. I'm like, they practically did the same thing for the Intercontinental Championship. Finn Balor hit his finishing move. Dom splash, Paul splash him for the win.
I'm just saying, you can't expect me to believe in real life or even in the wrestling world that there's not a way that Braun Breaker should not have retained his title.
That's why
I understand he only had a 25% chance, but look at what Braun Breaker has done, the dominance of Braun Breaker versus Dom, Finn, and Penta. Now, if you had him lose to Penta, I could accept that because Penta's on a hot streak. Right, he's coming in fresh. He wins the belt. It's like, okay, Penta won a belt in WWE in his first WrestleMania. But Dirty Dom, I'm not mad at it because Dirty Dom won. I'm mad because you took the belt back off of Braun Breaker. Are you going to do the same thing you did before? Have Dirty Dom hold the belt for a month and then get speared out of his ever-loving body and then lose it back to him? Like, what are we doing?
No, send Braun Breaker up. That's what you need to do. Send Braun Breaker up. Gee. Go ahead, send him up. He had a couple of reigns with the Intercontinental title. Send him up.
Where are you sending them up to, sir?
Put you in the main event picture.
All right, so what is he going to do in the main event picture? I'm just asking.
Fight his way up to the World Championship. Fight his way up. You can't keep him if you keep on having him
while still being
if you keep him having him in. Well, you can do that too, but I'm saying the longer you keep him in the mirror card, that's how he's going to be in as a mirror card. Get a man some main event taste.
Okay, so it goes. Let's just say this goes up, takes him 3 or 4 months. He wins the World Heavyweight Championship, right? Let's say he holds it for 6 months. What are you gonna do with him after that 6 months? Where does he go from there?
You probably can say the same thing when Jey Uso loses. Where does he go from there?
Absolutely.
When he loses?
Absolutely. He can go back to being a tag team special if he wants to. He can go get the Intercontinental Championship again, right? Because he had it, he lost it. He only had it for a month. What I'm saying is Braun still has so much more career left than Jey Uso does. So you're going to fast track and give him everything now. Then what's he going to do for the next 3, 4, 5 years?
I mean, he's been on the roster for a good bit now. And like he jumped straight in and he had to work for that Intercontinental title. Then he had to work to get it back.
He didn't really have to do much work to get it back, though. He just had a rematch and just beat the snot out of Jey. He didn't really have to work for the rematch. I'm just saying. It would have been nice for him to have it a little bit longer. But if you were going to take it off of him, a fatal 4-way makes sense because you could do what you did and take him out of the finish, but he still loses the match. But I don't think he should have lost it all. That's what I'm saying.
Dirty Dom's being cheered. And Dirty Dom, he was like, I'm not used to this. I'm used to them not letting me talk. No, they was chanting for Dirty Dom.
Yeah, they were.
And I like the fact Dirty Dom stayed in character.
Yes, he did. That man said he's already the greatest United States championship of all time.
That man understands the mission.
Blasphemy is his mission.
It's blasphemy. I'm with you, but he understands the mission.
And he's good at it.
He understands it. That's all I'm saying. He understands the mission.
But I would rather him win than Finn Balor, to be honest with you, because Finn Balor has turned into a crybaby.
That's why I can't wait to tonight. Oh my god! And he pinned Finn at all the people. What makes it even better?
Finn Balor's getting kicked out tonight.
He pinned Finn, which makes it even better.
Yeah, they're kicking him out tonight, and they should.
Hey, and if I'm Finn, I'm looking at Dom and say, I don't blame you because I would have did the exact same thing because he would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, but he's gonna want Dom kicked out. He's gonna end up getting kicked out.
He needed to do a Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins finally showed up after what happened at Madison Square Garden. He said, "Hey, I don't blame Roman Reigns because I already did the exact same thing." Finn Balor need to do one of them numbers. I understand because I already did the exact same thing. So pay the 4-way. It's an opportunity right there for me to hold goal. Why not take it?
No, that's fair. That's fair. Let's take a minute here and go through some of the comments, sir, before we continue. All right, so Yolanda says, "Hey, fellas, what's going on, Yolanda?" Yolanda says, "I wanted Bianca to win, but kind of sad she would retain because of Rhea and Bianca beefing." Yep, that's true.
It ain't really Rhea and Bianca beefing if they doing what most people think they're gonna do. Because if you really think about it, Bianca's not really part of Raw. She's a part of another show.
Philly says, "What's going on?" Yolanda says, "It was one of the best RKOs, though. It was a good RKO. And the pose, too." True.
That makes it even more disrespectful to TNA.
Snowtime72 says, "Got to be the worst WrestleMania I've seen in my 25 years of life." He does agree the RKO was fire, though. Yolanda says, "I know who Snowtime72 is, laugh out loud." Yolanda also says, "I'm not mad at the results, tired of Charlotte, but not Becky." That's exactly what I'm saying. Daniel Berry Sports says, "Afternoon, everyone." Yolanda then says, "I never understand why NXT women tag teams don't have their own belts either." Exactly. They're always going to lose.
Man, put them belts in 10 and NXT. They'll get defended more. Like they're supposed to be.
They're not going to put them belts in NXT. Damien says, "Cena killed wrestling and the Pope. Darn." Damien, I want to pray for your soul, sir. Damien said, "Bro can go for the U.S. title right now since Jacob got it. He cannot because he's a Raw superstar. Jacob is a SmackDown superstar. The United States Championship is a SmackDown championship." Damien says, "Braun was running for his life like he's Speedy Gonzalez." Then he says, "Dom, I mean." Yes, Dom is always running for his life. I'm going to let you have the Speedy Gonzalez.
I'm going to be honest. Dom wasn't really running that much. He was actually in the fight. He kept getting thrown away. That's why you didn't see him. He kept getting thrown away.
Damien also says, "Question, speaking of Dom and Luchador, with AAA now being bought by TKO and is merging with WWE, do y'all think we could see Del Rio in a WWE ring again?" Well, we're definitely going to see him in a WWE ring again. But will it be NXT Mexico or AAA ring? More than likely. Because they're thinking about making the NXT Mexico.
Of course they're gonna do NXT Mexico. They ain't gonna do the main roster because they got Money in the Bank later that night. By the way, June 7th is the date. WWE Worlds, AAA, NXT, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then 7 p.m. is Worlds Collide, and then 7 p.m. Money in the Bank in Los Angeles. There you go. I was trying to figure out. I said, why isn't it? So I knew one reason why I was in LA because that was when the first one was at. I said, why LA and why June 7th? Oh, Money in the Bank is there. That makes sense.
That's all of our comments. Match, would you like to go to next, sir?
The street fight.
Was wrong on that one too. I got a couple that he did wrong on that one too.
I'm gonna ask a serious question. Is street fight being overdone?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't have the impact because they have one all the time. And you can call it a Sin City street fight. You can call it a Broad Street Bully street fight. You can call it a WrestleMania wrap-up street fight. You can call it We in These Hoods street fight. It's still all the same thing. A street fight.
I mean, is it wrong to have one of them matches on WrestleMania every year?
If you didn't have it every other pay-per-view, no. Or every other premium live event, no. If you didn't oversaturate it, no. See, here's the thing. When I think of WrestleMania, right, I think of match types and things that we don't see every week or every month. Think of something we haven't seen maybe but once that year.
The probably reason why you're gonna be disgusted on Friday when they do this TLC match because it's on free TV.
I'm disgusted with everything they're doing with the Street Profits. I'm just disgusted with everything they do, except for them being champions. Everything else they've done with them, I'm disgusted by. And that does fall into everything else.
I was like, I knew Drew McIntyre can't lose 2 WrestleManias in a row. They ain't gonna do that.
Well, think about it. He did win last year. He beat Seth Rollins.
Yes, he did, but that wasn't the main point of the whole thing.
I'm just saying he did win last year.
You big dummy didn't take your dub and go home. You end up losing. So everybody's focused on you losing like a dummy.
That was a personal choice.
It was. But, you know, the optics also means something.
I hear you.
I'm like, right? Drew McIntyre ain't going to lose 2 WrestleManias in a row. That's not happening. No. Give me Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, he didn't lose last year, but I hear you.
He won, then lost.
But he won.
So he would have been, it would have been 2 straight losses.
But it would have been 2 straight to Damian Priest, which they wouldn't let happen. That's what I didn't think about. I'll take that L.
Like, would they do that? No, I don't think so. Let me see. Am I missing any matches before I get to the IWC?
I don't know if it's in order, but
no, I ain't really didn't go in order.
There's the trash match. AJ Styles losing to Logan Paul.
There's a theme here between that match and the other match. There's a theme here. What did I tell you? Logan Paul might end up winning this match because AJ Styles won't do what Karrion Kross wanted to do. I told you that. By the way, Karrion Kross, I think he told a line in that interview. Very line. I think he told that line very thin. Even Scotty gave him a look like, I think you going a little too far there, buddy.
No comment.
But no, AJ Styles want to be like Cody Rhodes. See? One job. What's to end it? That's it. End it. No, AJ Styles didn't want to. He decided to punch Karrion Kross for his troubles, and then he got punched. And then he took Logan Paul's. I'm gonna be honest, that's a cool finisher for Logan Paul. And lost. And you have nothing to say about it, don't you?
I have plenty to say, but we only have about an hour left, so no comment.
No comment.
I'll save it for later.
Gotta love it. And Stone Cold, start drinking.
Stone Cold. I'm gonna need you to not run into the barrier, my boy. I'm gonna need you to not run into the barrier, my boy.
Oh my god! I was like, my brother's like, "Oh, he been drinking." Goddamn Stone Cold.
Not drinking. He been drinking.
really, Steve? Come on, man.
He was drinking. He was when he used to be Deborah drunk.
That lady was scared for her life.
She should have been.
Come on, Steve. You gotta do better than that.
Channel my inner Damien. He was when he used to beat Deborah drunk.
No comment. Oh, that was funny. Then, the main event. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. John Cena told him, you gotta make at some point in that match, you're gonna have to make a choice. But they didn't know when that choice was gonna happen. Michael Cole came out and said, I'm gonna be an unbiased person when I call this match. People know how I feel about John Cena now, but this match deserves an unbiased commentary. To his credit, that's what he did. So, match is flowing at a very slow pace, by the way.
Match had to go to slow pace. John Cena is old.
I was gonna say that. I mean, you can. I wasn't thinking that way, but I was more thinking about he was doing it deliberately, just to piss people off. You can't get what y'all want. This is literally the whole heel turn. Fans cannot get what they want. If y'all been paying attention. Well, I ain't gonna say paying attention if they would. If they'll open their freaking eyes. And then the man behind the WrestleMania theme, Fiend, Mace's WrestleMania debut.
Travito Scott.
How you feel about that championship? Because I know how you feel about The Rock bringing the People's Championship. How you feel about Travis Scott with that championship?
So here's the thing. Travis is not even a real wrestler, right? So I don't care if he has him a little championship that he carries around. It don't matter. He's never going to compete in the ring. All he's going to do is come out and be a little gnat to help his the dude he sold his soul to I guess, The Rock. So it doesn't matter.
How you feel? Now, to be honest, the reason why I'm laughing because I was pissed, but I happened to catch Busted Open. And the entire panel on Busted Open are not happy with the fact that Cody Rhodes didn't slap the taste out of Travis Scott. They ain't never mentioned the fact that he caught a crossroads. He ain't slapped the taste out of Travis Scott's mouth. How you feel about that? I guess the receipt's supposed to be exactly what happened to you. That's what a receipt's supposed to be, even though he got crossroads in the middle of the ring. What's your thoughts on it?
They did a lot of unnecessary things in this match because they needed to buy some time for old man John to catch his breath so he could get back in the ring and plod around some more. And this was one of those things. That's how I really feel about it. Like, I don't think it served any real point because if Cody Rhodes hits Travis Scott, slaps the snout of Travis Scott, he should be down for the rest of the match. That's how it should have been.
That was interesting. And then the moment of truth came. Cody, there's no way in the world, by the way, let me say this right now. There's no way in the world, I don't care how old John Cena is, Cody Rhodes should outpower John Cena for a tug of war.
Well, one guy's been lifting weights, and one guy's been doing movies.
You think John Cena's been doing movies all this time?
That's the narrative.
You can say that's narrative, but come on, me and you know better. That man John Cena hits the gym.
But he doesn't have the royal family of wrestling. He called upon the power of his brother and his father.
That's his way of saying that I'm right. He just don't want to admit it.
That's my way of saying the whole thing was ridiculous.
You're like, come on now. Let's be for real. Cody Rhodes out strengthening John Cena. Let's be for real. But he has the title. There's no ref. The moment of truth is here. Take the shot, Cody. Take the shot. No, I ain't gonna take the shot. John Cena gonna take the shot.
Cody Rhodes will not take the shot because the fans have to cheer Cody Rhodes, even though they were booing him anyway. But
yep, John Cena took the shot, and we have number 17.
And he did it the way that ticked everybody off. That's why everybody's mad. That's why everybody's talking trash about everybody besides that. The truth of the matter is you're mad because Cody Rhodes lost the championship to John Cena. John Cena now has the most all-time championships. And he did it at the heel that y'all wanted. But we told you a long time ago, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it.
And that was the thing, because when they busted open to recap night 2, Dave LaGreca went off on the fans. He ain't go off on John Cena. He didn't go off on Cody Rhodes. He didn't go off on Paul Levesque. The fans. For the same exact thing you just said.
Great minds sometimes think alike.
I say, tell them, Dave. Tell them.
They wanted this. They begged for it. For years, John Cena sucks. All that crap. You want him to be a heel. But not only did you want him to be a heel, you wanted him to shave his head, change his gear, get new music, come out and talk trash. Like you wanted him to be basic thugonomics, John Cena, the Dr. Thugonomics with new gear and new entrance and stuff. But you don't get to choose how he's a heel. You get to beg for something, and Paul listens to you and still screws you.
You know what Paul did? Paul went to, and I found this out. Paul went to Johnson and said, "This is what we gonna do. This is how we gonna turn you heel. What you're gonna do at Elimination Chamber. What we gonna do? We're gonna take everything that happened throughout your career, and we gonna throw it back at the fans."
Yeah.
Have y'all not been paying attention to this whole thing?
No, they haven't. They've been too busy waiting for John Cena to come out with new music, new gear, and a bald head, sir. That's all they've been waiting on. They ain't listened to the promos. No. Because it's not the John Cena heel that they wanted. All the people that begged for him to be heel and got so excited when he kicked Cody in the bread basket, the groin, right? When he gave him what we call the undertaking, a stiff shot from the leg to the testicles. Everybody, John Cena's a heel, yeah. John Cena's a heel, yeah. Then he comes out and shows you the type of heel he is. I don't like that. But you know what?
Pretty much.
As a
pretty
fan
much. This whole heel turn is about the fans. It wasn't even about Cody Rhodes.
No.
It wasn't even about the WWE Championship. Even when they did go cut it, he said to Cody Rhodes, but what he said, I'm doing it and I'm ruining wrestling. Why does John Cena want to ruin wrestling? Because of the fans.
Yep. This is a whole different kind of heel from what y'all wanted. And that's the best part about wrestling.
And you know the funny thing is, that guy who is running WWE is one of the great heels. So the man knows what to do to be a heel. He knows what to do to piss y'all off. Exactly what he's doing with John Cena.
Yep. So we got a few more comments here. Let's jump into those. Still much more to talk about. Trust me, because there's some things on night one we're gonna go back and discuss too. Yes, sir. All right. Damien says it was cool to see In Living Color perform for CM Punk. Too bad Triple H couldn't see them because he doesn't see colors. He definitely. I like that one. I like that one, Damien. I like that one, sir. Touche Jackson on that one. Damien says that street fight was garbage, especially after the street fight they did at last year's Mania and the barbed wire match at TNA pay-per-view. Well, even if you didn't watch the TNA one, even if you didn't see the one last year, it was still garbage. Damien also says, I don't know who is dumber, AJ for not using the brass knuckles or Cody for hesitating to hit Cena with the title. Can we agree, Damien, they're equally dumb? Can we just agree on that?
No, they equally want to be good guys.
They're equally dumb, Damien. Can we settle on that? Damien says, touche, sir. Laugh out loud to me, reminding him belts on different shows. Yolanda says, that was some BS with that fan, though. The reaction was so delayed, like flopping in basketball. You should have they should have put somebody there or had him hit a spot where you had somebody who could have executed that better.
No, but I think that was Stone Cold effing up.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if there was somebody who kind of was like, all right, whenever he hit, I need to do the thing, whether it's a little earlier.
I'm saying that's Stone Cold effing up because I don't think he was supposed to hit.
Well, I mean, even so, if I see him hit, that's just, wrong type of person that should be there. I'm just saying. Damien also says John Cena pace is so slow, his ball spot growing hair faster than him getting to the ring.
Hey man, I'm gonna be honest, and then I love the entrance. It just black and white. John Cena walking to the ring.
No, the entrance video. I was like, okay. I would have liked if they would have took his music and slowed it down, like not even change it, just slow it down.
And then Cody Rhodes get all the tricks and glamour,
and then go home with no championship.
You know the funny thing is, this is the funny thing. WrestleMania 41, Brandy Rose accompanies him to the ring, but doesn't even stay. Goes to the back. She don't even want to watch. She don't even want to be around for this match
because she already know what's gonna happen to her husband. She already know. What's also funny, man?
Yesterday, her daughter, the mom, all in the front row.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm talking about last night. They all in the front row to see him lose.
Oh yeah. So, well, I mean, you got to make it look believable that he might win, even though we already knew based on what happened he was going to lose. Like they told us for like the last month he was going to lose. Like, hey,
you as soon as you saw John Cena the first time, you're like, oh, that's it. Cody Rhodes over.
Yeah, I mean, you can figure it out. If one guy continually gets the upper hand, he's going to lose the match. This has been going on in wrestling since I was in diapers. And that was a long time ago. Okay. It's been going on since then. It's never going to stop. If it's equal, it's like, okay, one might get like one up. Okay. But if you're constantly getting the upper hand on the other guy, he's going to beat your butt in that match. That's what happens. It's always what has happened. And that's what we continue to get.
And what did I tell you? I told y'all, no matter how this event ends, the IWC gonna be mad with it regardless.
This is true.
It never ends.
And I want to say, when I look at this WrestleMania, and my co-host is probably gonna feel different. There's two matches that I really was like, these are really good matches from beginning to end. That was the Jacob Fatu LA Knight match for the United States Championship on night one, and the Triple Threat Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, or WW, whichever championship was, I think World Heavyweight Championship match to begin.
The Women's World Championship match. I got you.
Those were the two matches that I felt like were the best matches from beginning to end. I feel like those matches, while outcome wise, one I love, the other one is it still made sense why certain things went a certain way. Because in all this of me picking Bianca, the one thing again I didn't consider, got caught up in the hype. Bianca ain't even on Raw. So if she won, they would have had to move her to Raw. Somebody else would have had to move to SmackDown.
The one thing I just looked over, because of my biasness, yes, that was my bias. I had two biased picks, and I missed on both of them.
Well, I missed on lots of unbiased picks, so
I missed on both biased picks, by the way, so I don't care. But
that just happens.
they treated Io Sky, who is the champion, like she didn't even matter. They should have said, "Oh yeah, Io Sky's going to go over on this one."
Yo, by the way,
How you treat the champion? How you treat the champion as she don't matter?
Wild work.
The champion doesn't matter in this three-way feud here. That should have said, "Oh yeah, Io's going over."
If I had to pick a third match that I at least was okay with, it would be the Jay Gunther match. Not because Jay was involved, but because they found a way for you to leave and say, okay, Jay won, but in a way that you did not expect. My beef with WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2.
That's your beef with WrestleMania, period.
I said Night 1 and Night 2. WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2. WrestleMania 41. What they did was they had some right outcomes. Like Seth Rollins winning, okay, everybody kind of knew that. It was the right outcome. But the way you tried to tell a story of a up-tempo match between an old dude in CM Punk, another dude that don't even wrestle enough to be in wrestling shape, and Seth Rollins, it didn't make sense. Like the way you got to the ending just didn't make sense. Not the last few minutes, but I'm saying the match itself. We don't need a spot fest every match. We don't need, this guy kicked out of 70 finishers, and this guy kicked out of 82, and this guy kicked out of 91. But then the guy that kicked out of 91 was the one that got pinned at the end of the match, like, because why did this happen? Why did that? Like, we just don't need that. One-on-one matches with false finishes work way better to me than triple threats. False finishes in a triple threat are a freaking joke. You got three people. So theoretically, that third person is going to, break things up most of the time anyway, because they don't want either one of the other two people to win.
The crazy thing is that didn't even happen in that match.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They didn't even follow the rules or even like try to make it look partially like a regular triple threat match. And there's several other pieces. CM Punk got beat up in a cage to get Paul Heyman in his corner for WrestleMania. And I get this storytelling, and Triple H is pulling back long-term storytelling. The match shouldn't even been a main event. Let's be real. It should have been the first match on night 1, and the first match should have been the main event. And I'm going to tell you why. Anybody want to disagree with me? I don't care. What did they say when Jey Uso won that match? Main event Jey Uso will be main eventing WrestleMania. Did they not tell us that?
I was wondering when you were going to finally say that.
The lie detector test has determined that was a lie.
I was wondering how long it's going to take you to say that.
I was waiting to the day. I was waiting.
That's the same thing.
Dave LaGreca
from Busted Open said. Why? He said that, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. He was like, why is Jey Uso not main event? Then they tell us, and they played it back. Michael Cole saying Jey Uso is now in the main event of WrestleMania.
Right.
Why is he not in the main event? So you lied to us.
You took Jey Uso out the main event because his videos were getting dislikes. His videos weren't getting dislikes because people disliked Jey Uso. His videos were getting disliked because of the way you were presenting him. Made people dislike what you were trying to do with Jey Uso. Had you just had Jey Uso come out.
He just basically pushed John Cena off the apron. That's all you want.
And the thing is, you did this thing where, Jey Uso's scared of Gunther. How in the fudge nuggets do you expect me to believe he was scared of somebody he already had multiple matches with and almost beat? It's not like he went in the ring with Gunther and Gunther beat the living fool out of him, drug him around the ring, and beat him like he was Jimmy Uso. He didn't do that to him. So what reason would it be for him to even be scared? See, that's what I'm saying, the stuff that doesn't make sense. You're trying to figure out a way to make Jey Uso this underdog that people love, but you're doing it in a way that doesn't make sense. The outcome makes sense, but the way you got there was terrible. Paul Heyman turning made sense. The way you got to that through that long match of Spotomania and super kick out everybody just wasn't necessary.
I will say this. Triple H tried to do something different with Jey Uso instead of what Yes-A-Mania was and what Kofi Mania was, where no matter what, they find a way to keep you out of WrestleMania. That's not what happened. They tried to go a different route, and that different route didn't flow.
That's what I'm saying. That's fine that they tried to do something different, but it did not make sense from the writing perspective. Damian comes up here. Damian says, I'm sorry, I disagree. I think the triple threat match was in the right place. If you're going to replace J match for the main event, it would have to be Cena and Cody, especially after the way that match ended. Damian, see, here's what you have to understand, sir. You have to understand this thing that's called match psychology, okay? If someone wins the Royal Rumble, not Elimination Chamber, but if somebody wins the Royal Rumble, they go out there, they beat 29 other people. They pointed that sign. And it's for the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. 9 times out of time, 10 years, they're the main event. We now have 2 nights, and we were told Jey Uso was going to be the main event. So you can disagree, but now what have you done? And I said this, and it's come to pass. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship is the number 2 championship, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Why? Because WWE told us over the last 2 WrestleManias they don't give a hot pile of piss about that championship. And if they don't care about the championship, why should we? I have a WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt. I don't pull it out anymore because it's the B Championship.
It's going to be the B Championship regardless.
But you don't have to present it as the B Championship. When you say, I won't even put it in the main event for multiple years in a row, piss on that championship. And you think people are going to turn around and buy the championship? You're telling us you don't care about it. You put more into the United States Championship match than you did that match.
I mean, you really think The Rock wasn't going to main event night 1?
But here's where you're missing. I get last year because of what happened. But then you did it again this year. The culmination of multiple years of what's supposed to be the Fighters Championship, of it not getting a main event spot. And this year we were even told it was going to get a main event spot. That tells me the WWE says piss on the World Heavyweight Championship. And again, if you're pissing on it, fans are pissing on it. WrestleMania main events should be championship matches.
Okay? Not always.
And it doesn't always have to be the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. But main event should be championship matches 9 out of 10 times. And I'll tell you why. What is the people in the company for? What is everybody trying to do? Win a triple threat match to prove that they're a tough guy or win a championship? They're supposed to be there to win championships. We don't measure guys because they were in 5 WrestleMania main events. We measure guys because they won championships. Right? We don't measure Ric Flair by how many times he was the main event at Starrcade. We measure Ric Flair by how many championships he won. So if the main goal is to get championships and the main event at the biggest show, the grandest stage of them all, why is it not for championships? And it doesn't always have to be both men's championships. It can be the women's championships. A couple of years ago, it was the tag team championships. That's cool.
In this day and age, I don't know what is this day and age. I don't know what the main goal is. That is like everything that we used to seems to be changing before our eyes.
Everybody's slobbing on John Cena winning 17, aren't they not? Today. Okay, so I mean, the championships seem to matter.
Hey, I'm just these people pick and choose what's the main thing. That's the problem.
The main thing is the main thing, and the main thing is championships.
The
reason Charlotte Flair is hated is because she has so many championships as a woman. Not because she's a woman, but because of her heritage, who her father is. And they feel like she's being thrown and forced down the audience's throat because she is Ric Flair's daughter. And I'm not here to say whether that is or not. I do get tired of every time she returns, she gets a championship match somehow really quickly. Now, if she had a match at WrestleMania, won the match, and then you say, okay, at Backlash, the winner of this match gets a championship. And then she wins the match.
We'll still have the same problem. Not with you.
A lot of people have the same problem, but I wouldn't, because I would say she
No.
came back, she had multiple matches, and then she won a match,
Matter of fact,
a multiple person match.
If Charlotte Flair is anywhere near one of those 2 titles, it's going to be a problem with them.
And that's fair, but I'm saying even if she had to work for it a little bit, I feel like it was just handed to her. Make it work a little bit, I'm a little bit easier about it. But that's just me. I can't control what IWC and all them. I'm telling you my thing. The IWC guys, they're not happy anyway. They still live in their mom's basement and they're mad about that. So they're not happy at all. I'm saying, for me, as someone who wants you to show me why stuff should be where it should be, I feel like it's the WWE, TNA, AEW. I guess they're gonna make NXT Mexico, but right now it's still AAA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, MLW, all those places. Your job is to present me with a storyline, a product, and make me believe it. Right? Reality of Wrestling did a better job with Zilla Fatu getting the championship back there and being having 3 championships again, being 3-belt Zilla, than a lot of lead-up feuds that we had in WWE, who's supposed to have a superior writing team, superior brain trusts, superior people behind the scenes, superior agents and all that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of the outcomes I'm fine with, but the way that we got to a lot of these outcomes is garbage. And the fact, I will not stop harping on the fact that the Rey Fenix match should not have happened. I don't have a problem with Rey Fenix being on the card. I have a problem with Rey Fenix facing that person that he faced. I refuse to say the name again. I'm sick of that crap. That should not have happened.
Because I know the name he really wanted to say, but we can't say it because we don't know who it is.
Man, it's Chad Gable. I'm gonna say it, Chad Gable. I'm so sick of this, and to think that was worthy of a WrestleMania spot over another match. And here's my other beef: we could have had more matches. With some of these matches, like the main event of night 1, went way too long.
That's why the other matches went fast. You ain't noticed that?
I did notice that, but I'm saying that's my issue. Give us another match instead. We don't need the main event match to go on for 20, 30 minutes, especially when the guys in the match can't even last. John Cena was dead after about 5 minutes. And Roman Reigns and CM Punk kept falling out the ring and the other one getting in. Why? Because, again, they weren't prepared for that. That's my issue. I'm not even like...
I mean, it's not even a pushback from what you said. It's more of this whole main event night 1 thing was revolving around CM Punk, basically.
So let's look at it from this perspective. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, what was CM Punk's beef? Why he had a hissy fit and quit wrestling?
He could not find a way to main event WrestleMania.
And other guys were getting in spots who were part-timers or guys that have been around a long time, and you weren't allowing other guys to get those spots. You just did the same thing.
You left, you came back, and the main thing was, don't worry, I will find my way to the main event of WrestleMania. That's all that we heard from you. And then we thought that would be the favor. Which we probably wouldn't have been mad at. Because we understand that's what the main thing you've been talking about is main event WrestleMania.
I would have been mad. I would have been as bad as I am now, though. Of what he
man, you actually would have accepted this favor over the real favor.
That's true. But my thing is,
I know you want the favor to be championships because
opportunity at least an opportunity to fight like a number 1 contenders match or something.
The favor was Paul Heyman in his corner, going all the way back to a promo that happened in 2013, 2011, somewhere in that range. Between Paul Heyman and CM Punk.
And see, the thing is, this, like, you could have went so many different ways with this, right? You could have went so many different ways with WrestleMania. I'll say this. A lot of the matches had at least good points and solid finishes. But total matches, a lot of them weren't that great. I liked the Jade Cargill and Naomi match for what it was. Outside of my feelings about the KAKEZs on both of those women, cases. The match itself was a good match. You saw some of the things that Jade Cargill just done differently. You saw Naomi show you that, hey, I can wrestle. I'm more than just a butt to the face and a couple of flips. Like, I can wrestle. And I think that was important because both of those women needed to walk away from that match. And you saying, okay, they both can go. And I felt like I walked away. I don't know about nobody else, but I walked away from the match saying, okay, both of these ladies can go. And I was happy about that.
Can we stop? Not me and you, because we don't do it, but can we stop doing one thing as a wrestling community? Stop saying WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of wrestling. Because if you're gonna say that in your complaint, I'm gonna fire back at you. Is every Super Bowl been top notch?
That's a good point. There's been some bad ones. That's a good point. That's a fair point. But Paul,
not gonna be that. There's gonna be some times where WrestleMania just don't live up. There's time. Hell, it's times throughout the. Remember, wrestling is the only sport that doesn't have an off season.
Correct.
You know how hard it is to put on A shows for 52 weeks a year? Now, you don't want it to happen on your biggest show, but sometimes things happen.
Damien says, to be honest, that Jay Uso and Gunther storyline wasn't all that good to put in the main event, in my opinion. Okay.
No, what happened is, because, trust me, they set it up for it not to be there. But when they finally got to the point where Jay flipped that switch, it was like, oh, wait a minute. We forgot this Jay exists. This Jay should be in the main event. That's why Cool was saying how they presented it didn't work. Because once Jay flipped the switch, it was like, oh, wait a minute. That's the Jay we know. That's main event Jay Uso. But they opened the door for the CM Punk dream to come true. And like I said earlier, if I want being biased, I would have said Io Sky was going to retain because how they was treating Io Sky. And plus how they did Friday Night SmackDown when they tied both freaking storylines into it. But also fixated on pissing off the IWC. I want to Bianca to win, turn heel. Now you want to talk about me picking Charlotte? That's just me being a fan of the Queen. I don't know what you want from me on that one. I rock with the Queen.
I can't fault anybody for either picking that match. A couple of more comments. Yolanda says, we know that it's D. She also said who. I didn't want to say the name, but I did say it. I'm not doing that fake name from the Gulf of America crap. Yolanda also says that ish is stupid enough to agree. The whole almost slipped and said it. Fake Chad Gable.
Not fake Chad Gable.
Yolanda says, so what grade do you both give it overall? I can't give it above a C overall. Execution was poor in a lot of places for me, so I cannot give WrestleMania over a C.
I think that's probably where everybody else is at.
Yeah, I can't give it over a C.
You do have those that's the extreme, oh, this is the worst ever. How do you define the worst ever?
What you give it, Playmaker?
You laughing. I used to do that a lot in high school. I'm about to go back and doing that now. Because some of these, I'm like, define worst. Please define that for me. And how you define it? I will go back into these WrestleMania archives and find the one that fits that description.
Okay. So Yolanda says, so I thought this was funny. My daughter walked in the room doing a triple threat match. It said, dang, that girl got a big butt. Laugh out loud talking about Bianca. I laugh. Oh, them cakes is caking. Frosted and everything.
By the way, can I give props to Liv Morgan?
Yes, you can.
Is it me or Liv Morgan knows how to do the facial expressions perfectly?
Yeah, she's the queen. I one thing I'll say, you could call her a thirsty whatever, but them facial expressions, she is on point with those, and she does deserve props for that. Absolutely.
She literally dropped the title when Becky Lynch came out.
And I want to shout out Montez Ford for saying he ain't mad about how many people talk and look at Bianca because he's the only one that gets to taste Bianca. You tell him, Montez. She still got cakes for days though.
Hey, shout out to the daughter getting to be on the WrestleMania stage.
Yep. What was her name?
I forgot her name.
I forgot her name. Becky's daughter. Becky and Seth Rollins' daughter.
Oh, it starts with an R. Starts with an R.
Okay. Drew.
Yeah.
She got a chance to get up there. I thought that was cool. Yolanda also says she don't watch wrestling either.
No, she doesn't.
But hey, everybody know a big butt when they see it.
Hey, she don't watch sports. She ain't into sports anyway. So
it'd be like that.
All right, sir. So yeah. WrestleMania was on the run this year. It is what it is. See, I'm not one of those that's going to be like, oh, that's some BS, this, that, and this. No. Because I know there might be a year where it doesn't, look at what happened last year. Last year, it was.
I think that's the thing. Like, you have a year like that. I expected some drop off. I did. I expected some drop off. But the level of drop off, we never would have had that match that Ray Phoenix was in on the show last year. That would have never made the cut. Logan Paul and AJ Styles might have made the cut as like a second or third match on night one last year. That would have been the extent of that. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that there wasn't as much time spent planning and trying to make this show as great as it could be as there was last year. And it showed the outcome. Not the like a lot of the outcomes I don't have a problem with. Let me say that. It's the story of getting to that outcome that wasn't good. That's my thing. You want me to sit there and watch 4 hours for 2 days, fly out to Vegas, pay for rooms, pay the higher prices for everything, and then you give me a subpar based on last year WrestleMania. And like I said, I didn't expect it to be as good, but you could have done better. You gave us a couple more matches, cut down some of those long matches that went too long with 80,000 false finishes, looking like AEW matches, and made it where people could go home feeling good. I understand that people were going to go home feeling good because John Cena won, but both nights, your main events.
Great, wrestling is ruined now.
Last year was just, it was really good, but they'll give us better. Don't get me wrong, but
hey, they gonna give us better. You know what WrestleMania is at next year?
Are we gonna?
What WrestleMania is at next year?
If they give us much worse, we're gonna start treating them like Target.
Man, WrestleMania's in New Orleans. WrestleMania's in New Orleans next year.
So Yolanda said last year was a 5+. I agree. This was in Vegas, and they still didn't give us a good show. So destination don't even matter to me no more because this is Vegas, and they didn't even give us a good show.
I'm starting to think the real top-notch places like Vegas and LA be the ones that kind of underwhelming for most people.
Well, they need to come to Charlotte then so they can give us a 7+ show then. How about that?
The places where it takes a lot to get there and all the other stuff. It's expensive in California. It's expensive in Nevada. It's not going to be that expensive in New Orleans.
All I'm saying is, well, how about y'all come have one in Charlotte?
They should.
Yeah.
They can do it in Bank of America Stadium.
They sure can. Or they can do it in the Spectrum Center.
I'm talking about WrestleMania here. It's definitely gonna be a big American.
I'm just saying you could do Spectrum Center if you're worried about weather.
They're gonna be in the one. They're gonna be in the Superdome. They have a dome, so I know they're gonna go stupid next year.
I've lost a little bit of trust in them going stupid. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I've lost a little trust in them actually doing it because they've shown
That's fair. That's fair because it's the initial reaction from a underwhelming WrestleMania.
You're being nice when you say underwhelming.
I ain't calling it the worst WrestleMania. That's for darn sure.
I mean, I don't think it was the worst, which I think you're being nice when you call it underwhelming.
Oh,
I'm not saying it was hot doodle juice, but it was.
And I'm just saying, sometimes there's gonna be some years where these things happen.
I feel you.
But we always got people that got to go overboard. Like every Super Bowl is not interesting.
But see, you're crafting this supposedly long term. So the disappointment comes from you had possibly a year out to make this better, and you didn't.
No, I get it. I'm just saying it's gonna be years that's like this. It is bound to happen. There's no way around it. Does it suck? Yes, it does suck.
It could have been better.
It could have been better. I'm saying it's gonna be times like this where these things happen. That's the unfortunate part of life.
Paul, you gotta be better next year.
I'm pretty sure he will rebound next year.
He better.
But unfortunately, he can't rebound next year until tonight starts. So what are you looking forward to tonight?
Nothing. I'm gonna watch. I don't trust them to do anything after WrestleMania last night. I'm not gonna get myself
after WrestleMania though.
I'm like, oh, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. I'm not looking forward to anything. I'm gonna watch, but I'm not looking forward to anything. You have to show me.
It's the Raw after WrestleMania. This is supposed to be the best show of the year.
Last year's WrestleMania was great. The Raw after WrestleMania, according to the people that were watching on TV, was not good. Okay,
you were there in attendance, sir.
I was great. It was great. I think there wasn't enough returns and stuff like that last year.
Which is matter of fact, that was the only complaint. Like really, every
a lot of people that weren't there were like, "Oh, it didn't look like it was that fun."
Like everything. Why does everything got to be a return?
You need something after WrestleMania that helps reset the year. When you start introducing new people, that helps reset the year. That helps reset that. Okay, everything before is pretty much done.
No, I said returns. I ain't say they can introduce new people. I don't care about that. But returns, come on now.
That's what we've always gotten. Like that's what they've gotten us used to. So you gotta keep giving us what we used to.
No.
If your mama seasons your food and then one day you come home and your food ain't seasoned, you're gonna be looking at your mom like, why my food ain't seasoned?
You learn how to season it your darn self.
Okay, well, we can't learn how to make returns our darn self. Can't
you threw that out there.
You knew what I was saying.
Hey, I'm just saying you threw that out. That was a layup. I'm sorry.
That was not a layup.
That was a layup. You threw an alley-oop right there. And I just
not I wasn't
because as soon as you said mama, it's like, dude.
I wasn't throwing you sugar, honey, ice, or tea. Just to be clear.
You threw it up there because
I ain't tried to sugar, honey, ice, tea.
If your mama didn't season it, you look at your mama like, what? Why you ain't seasoning? Go season it your darn self. That was pretty much the reaction of a black mama. I'm sorry.
Black mama say, shut up and eat that food how it is.
That too.
Ain't no.
But she also gonna tell you, go season your darn self if you want seasoning on it.
Maybe your mama, but not mine.
Where you get slapped. All right, it is what it is. And I know the IWC is panicking like crazy. Let's see what this next 2.5 hours of Raw gonna look like.
What are you looking forward to tonight, sir?
The IWC lose their darn mind some more.
Okay.
Oh, you have no idea. This is gonna be a rivalry right here. Because these people I can't stand. And I blame the IWC the reason why Bianca Belair ain't champion. Y'all seen the post, and I mean it.
I don't think she was ever supposed to win.
I don't care. I'm still blaming the IWC.
But I blame them for her taking a loss. She shouldn't have took the loss either. She should have been the person that wasn't involved in the finish.
I'm blaming the IWC.
You can blame
And I'm happy. I'm happy De La Greca is on this bandwagon too.
Okay.
Okay, he went in. I was like, wow. And Bully Ray looked at, is anybody going to talk Dave about it? Margaret was like, nope. Let him stay on it.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of watching other wrestling shows. Not that I'm too good for it or anything, but it helps me personally with seeing things in the light I would like to see them and not being, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I like hearing different opinions. I like we see everybody. So
I hear different opinions every day. All you gotta do is go online, you hear different opinions, but I just don't like.
Oh, I don't want to deal with them people. Them people get on my darn nerves.
I feel you, man.
But people who are, actually talk with some sense.
Everybody don't be talking with some sense either, though. But I hear what you're saying. Good people. It's 8:03. Well, 8:04 now. Y'all's Raw. No, I'm just playing. Raw is on. I'm gonna go ahead and flash WrestleMania. I'm gonna treat today as a reset. I'm gonna give WWE an opportunity to show me that they had plans. I don't believe that they will, but I'm gonna give them an opportunity.
And then when they don't, he'll be seething for a week to finally say something. And we don't have no date for the WWE draft, which I'm very disappointed in.
It'll be a couple of months before they do it, probably. Roman Reigns will keep showing up on Raw and SmackDown, maybe. Or he might quit for 3 months and come back for SummerSlam.
Let me go see how they're going to get me ready for Backlash in St. Louis.
Oh, and by the way, Real Wise Radio, shout out to y'all. Appreciate you helping us reach more people. With that, y'all know what it is. Make sure you tell 4 people who you think are your friends and 4 people you know or not. Just because they may or may not look like you does not mean that they won't love us. And as always, it's never where you start. It's always where you finish. We'll be back just to the regular format next week, but we really need to take some time to really talk about WrestleMania. And no disrespect, but AEW was an easy chop because we know what it is.
So you know what that means? That means next week we go back to cool having changes about AEW.
It's been a little relaxing not having to throw anything, but it is what it is. There's always going to be.
So your break is over. Just like Michael Cole said, they had a 12-hour break. You had a whole week break from AEW.
2-week break from AEW.
Yes. So now you got to get back into Mr. Powder Tornado himself.
Well, I felt like I was watching with some of those matches and all them at 8 billion of false finishes, but again, I'm gonna flush it. See y'all next week. Bring 3 people with you. We'll holler.